Welcome to Pulse Check, where we have quick conversations to help people in Alabama live healthier lives. Today's guest is someone who so many people in our community know, love, and admire. And once you hear from her, you'll understand why. Carol leads the Cancer Wellness Foundation, where she works every day to support patients and families navigating one of the hardest journeys they'll ever face. Through her work, she's helped to provide real, tangible support to people across central Alabama, meeting needs that go far beyond medical care. But what makes Carol's story especially meaningful right now is that this mission isn't just professional, it's deeply personal. After years of being an advocate and champion for cancer patients and survivors, her own family is now walking through that journey as well. Carol is someone who shows up for her community, for her friends, and for anyone who needs her. She's known for her energy, her compassion, and the genuine way she connects with people, whether it's at a fundraiser, a community event, or just in everyday life. I'm really honored to have her here today to share her perspective, both as a leader in this space and as someone who's experiencing it in a very real way. Welcome, Carol.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you spent years supporting cancer patients and families. How has that perspective changed now that your own family is walking through this journey?
Love that you asked this question. My perspective has changed so much. Like you said, I approach the decisions that I made for our patients um, from a professional, from a budget, from all of the things that benefited the foundation. But now, every decision I make, I consider the patient truly. From little things like as part of our transportation, we used to provide bus passes, but now I can't imagine giving a cancer patient a bus pass who just completed chemo in July, to sit out in the heat and to have to ride a bus taking many stops home. So that is something I took away our services, and we provide them private transportation now because I just feel like it's just something that the patient needs, especially after um, having chemotherapy done. And it's just, I look at things so different. And um, I could talk so much about how decisions that I make have changed, but truly I have empathy for the patient now, and I am able to find ways to make it work for the foundation and to work for the patient. And it's been very challenging in some ways, but it's something that is very important to me.
Wow, I love that. So it was something that I'm sure at the time you're like, these transportation vouchers are great. But having walked through it yourself with your family, having that perspective, making that change, I'm sure you've gotten some great feedback on that because you're right.
Yeah.
That's something that I wouldn't have thought of.
No, never thought about it. I thought that I was looking at it from a cost perspective, and a bus pass is more cost effective than a private transportation company. But if we have that money in the budget, I feel like we have to do what's best for the patient, and that is not catching a bus after chemotherapy.
I love that. So, for people who may not be familiar, you mentioned transportation, but what else does the Cancer Wellness Foundation actually do, tangible things for patients, and why is that so important?
So we serve Central Alabama. Right now, we have 32 counties, patients coming from 32 counties to the Montgomery Cancer Center or the Prattville Clinic that sees one of our physicians. And we provide medication, transportation. Those are our two biggest programs, but we also have other programs that are so important um, because oftentimes insurance doesn't cover the little things. We provide lymphedema garments to breast cancer patients after they have surgery. We provide free wigs to any patient who would like a wig. They make an appointment with us. They come, they have a wig fitting, and they walk away with as many wigs as they would like. We also have a nutrition component. and we work with the dietitians at the cancer center, and we provide nutritional shakes for those who have been identified as at risk for malnutrition. What that means for the patient, if they are identified as being at risk for malnutrition, they can't continue with their chemotherapy. And so that is a gap in their recovery. And so by us providing these patients with the nutritional shakes free of charge, then they are able to um, keep their nutrition up, um, not become malnourished, and continue with their treatments. One of our physicians at the Cancer Center, Dr. Susmitha Nimagata, actually wrote in a journal and credited the Cancer Wellness Foundation with helping the patients not have gaps in treatment and how important this nutrition program is for her patients. So it is something that many people think is small, but these patients, when the dietitians get low on these Boost and Ensure, they reach out to me, and it is so important that we go get, and we purchase it at the store. We're not getting any discounts. We are not getting it wholesale. We go make a purchase retail and give it to the dietitian to give the patients. So it's these tangible things that you're talking about. Our transportation, we have many patients who do have a vehicle, but they can't afford to put fuel in the vehicle. And so we provide a reloadable gas card, and we know when their appointments are, and we load on the money for them to get to and from wherever they're coming from. They could be coming from Perry County, they could be coming from Macon County, Dallas County, and we put the fuel on there for them to get to and from for all of their appointments. And then we have the private transportation companies that I talked about earlier. We contract with 11 different private transportation companies, and depending on which county the patient lives in is which transportation company goes and picks them up, drops them off, and then picks them back up and takes them home. So as you can imagine, that adds up quickly because it varies from year to year, but we give between 5,000 and 9,000 rides a year.
Wow.
So, yes, and that is to and from, but that's something that our patients, last year we spent $207,000 on transportation cost.
Wow, that's
So it's
incredible.
something, yes,
And
it's
the
very
coordination
needed.
alone
Yes,
between
yes.
11 different transportation companies.
Yes. We have a transportation coordinator who does an amazing job, and that is what she does. That is her sole responsibility. And yes, she does a great job, and she keeps up with all the schedules for the week and makes sure everyone is taken care of.
Wow. So we talked about transportation and nutrition needs, support in general, even just knowing if I can get to the Cancer Wellness Center, then I can get my card reloaded so that I can get back home. Things like that are really important for peace of mind. What other everyday needs do you think that the Cancer Wellness Center provides?
Well, something that I have found, and it's kind of one of the last words in our mission statement. And for years, this is something else that, going back to the first question, my perspective that's changed. Um, the word advocacy. I really didn't use that word very often when I would talk about our mission. I would mainly talk about the medication transportation because those things were so important. But goodness gracious, the advocacy. It has blown me away the amount of advocacy I've had to do for my husband. And I have an inside track to a lot of things, but dealing with medical bills and expenses and insurance, it is overwhelming. And advocacy is something that I did not realize how important it was in what we do for our patients, our Medicaid, Medicare patients, Social Security. We have a clinic every year for those patients who are doing Medicaid Part D. We explain it to them. We have people that come in and they help the patients get signed up for it. Things like that are so important when you're on this cancer journey because unless you've lived it, there's no way to explain to someone how many medical bills you get, how many errors in coding and billing, and just navigating all insurance at the end of the day, it's the same for other things such as, you can only get a CT scan so often for insurance to cover it unless there's an exception of why it's needed. And so just knowing what your options are and just things that you have to look out for, it really has been um, eye-opening. And I feel like the advocacy that we provide for our patients is so vital, truly.
That they have somewhere to turn, somebody that they can talk to, somebody can put them in touch with a resource or
That's
just
right.
talk through, a billing or who to tell them who to call on the other end. You mentioned several times, what you're going through, and the title of this podcast is Both Sides of the Fight. But for anybody who does not know, we haven't really gone into detail. Can you share a little bit about your personal story, what's happening in your life right now?
Yes. So March 31st, um, well, first of all, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month, and it is one of our biggest months at the Cancer Wellness Foundation because we just finished our 8th year of the Women in Blue campaign.
Congrats.
Campaign is just an amazing awareness campaign and fundraising campaign. We all wear blue. Of course, I wore blue because my husband has colon cancer, and this is the colon cancer color. Um, and March 31st last year, the last day of Colon Cancer Awareness Month, my husband got diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic colon cancer that had spread to his liver and bladder. It has been one of the hardest years for my family, dealing with things that, as we've talked about a little bit, was my job, my professional life. And then in the blink of an eye, it became my personal life. And I feel like I've talked about this so much in the past year. I feel like God put me in this job. I retired from the city of Montgomery after 22 years, and I had never worked in nonprofit or healthcare, and I took this job on, and I've made some amazing relationships at the Montgomery Cancer Center and in the cancer community. And I feel like God just prepared me for this time in my life with the relationships and the knowledge that I've been equipped with. And it it's been really tough, but there have been moments of just the community and the outreach, and my whole world, professional world, is communicating, and I'm a big community person. And so being able to educate people on what this journey looks like has been so important to me. And it's something that I'm kind of have become passionate about. And once a month on the 1 month anniversary, or I hate to call it an anniversary, the mark, I just wrote a few days late. I just wrote a 1 year, 1 month post on my Facebook page. So now I've done 13 posts, and I call it the wife of a cancer patient because
I read
being
them, by the way. You're a beautiful writer, and I think that's gonna be a book one day.
so many people have said that to me, and right now that post is um it's so healing for me, but it also, I'm so passionate about being real and not sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's lots of good, there's lots of ugly, there's lots of bad, of course, but there have been so many positives, so many things that have happened during this journey that, gosh, I mean, I'm forever changed in so many ways. We don't know what next month looks like. We don't know what 6 months looks like for our family, but I do know that I'm changed through all this professionally and personally. And I just feel like helping other people know they're not alone, know that as a caregiver, when you're struggling, I mean, grace has been kind of my word. Um, I give Bill a lot of grace because he is going through a lot and chemo rage is a real thing. People don't realize things like that. Can't, you know, he's deals with knowing he has stage 4 cancer every day. He doesn't get a lot of sleep, but I give him grace, but also ask for grace myself from him and for myself to give myself grace. I'm going to screw up. I'm going to not always put him first in every situation. It's hard. I mean, marriage is hard. Add to that being a caregiver and, a cancer patient, stage 4 cancer patient. And then you have, add the financial strain and um it's tough. I mean, that's kind of been my thing. I I I don't want to sugarcoat it because I do want people to know it sucks. I mean, it's tough,
Right.
but I do am able to laugh. I'm able to have fun. I'm able to spend time with my friends. I'm able to, coming to work every day and being involved in real life outside of being the wife of a cancer patient is a true blessing for me. I'm a worker. I'm always going to work, I feel like. And so, yeah, I'm just human. And it's made me a better human for sure.
Mhm.
It's made me a better wife and a better boss and a better person, advocate for our patients.
Well, so then this question is really the perfect question for you. If someone finds out that their loved one, maybe it's a friend or their spouse, their child, their parent, just someone in their life, they find out, they get that diagnosis like what you guys got at the end of March last year. Um, what's the most helpful thing that somebody can do for that person when they find out that they'll be going through that fight?
Well, for me, it's been not to shut out your friends and your community. And I am always, well, people will say I'm a control freak and I like to be in control. And so when someone in my friend group's hurting or having surgery, I'm always the one to collect money and get them flowers or let's do something for somebody. And so being able to accept help at first, I was like, I'm good. We're good. We got it. But accepting that help, I mean, it's very humbling. It has been for me, very humbling. We had a meal train, and when I tell you it was life changing for us, just because I didn't have to go to the grocery store. I didn't have to spend my time figuring out what was for dinner. Having that meal train was truly the biggest blessing of this whole journey. Just having people bring us food, not having to worry about what we're going to eat for dinner. It was so overwhelming in the beginning. So much was going on with Bill and his treatments. And just, I cannot express how that meal train. And then, the most humbling part of this whole experience for us, and I would say for anyone on this journey, is accepting financial gifts or people who want to help you saying yes, because it's so hard and it's just something that you never envision yourself being in this situation, but I think anyone whose family member gets a diagnosis, just say yes to help. Don't turn that help down, whether it is bringing you a meal, giving you a gift card to get your nails done, giving you a gift. I mean, I will say today, I hope I don't start crying, but I got a text message out of the blue from someone who I don't know that well. She taught my daughters, and she just said that she's been following our journey and she wants to Venmo me. Um, and I haven't responded because it immediately brought me to tears. And I want to respond the right way, and I just had a lot going on today. But it's just so overwhelming, the kindness of people. And I just say embrace it because people want to help. And telling them no all the time, it makes people feel helpless.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think people just this has brought out the best in people to me for our
Yeah.
journey, and it's been very humbling.
Wow.
Very.
Well, you talked about being a caregiver. What are some ways that caregivers can make sure that they're meeting their own needs? You know, the saying you can't fill a cup from an empty pitcher or pour from
Yeah.
an empty glass. What are some ways that a caregiver can take care of themselves, make sure they're meeting their own needs as well?
So, something I've done, well, writing that, and I know that's not for everybody, I understand that. Truly, writing that monthly, post is so therapeutic for me. It helps me, get my thoughts down. It helps me kind of, organize things in my mind, and like I said, I'm a PR journalist background. And, I just I have in my notes app these thoughts that come to my mind or, the one that I just wrote about the difference in our schedules.
I loved that one because I felt like
His
that really
schedule
translated to even a, non-diagnosed is,
Right,
everybody
right,
has different schedules. You think you're living the
that's right.
same life, but you're really not in so many ways.
And that came about it was during March when I was so incredibly busy, and we went to dinner, and I was on my phone the whole time dealing with work stuff, and, values and treasures our time together. And so I was trying to explain while I was on my phone the whole time. He understands totally, but he's by himself all day with his thoughts. And so it kind of hit me. And so I got my notes app out and I kind of jotted down, you know, when your two schedules are totally different. And, mine was super busy running a campaign and um, being a boss and a mother and all the things, and his was literally just trying to get rest, getting chemo, taking his meds kind of thing. And so just on two different paths, but both of to be recognized by the other one. But anyway, and that's kind of how it's so therapeutic for me because I think through it and I always am very intentional about what I write, but it's also from the heart. So that's been very therapeutic for me. But also, I've never been a morning devotional person for the last year, someone gave me a devotional book. It was one page every day, and I would get up and I would get my coffee and do that. But now someone actually three people sent me this on one day, and it's a Sing devotional. For anybody who doesn't know about Sing Devo, it's the most amazing thing. It's a singing devotional and it's free and it's 15 minutes. And I put it on when I'm putting my makeup on in the morning. And it has just been so rewarding for me. And there have been so many that speak right to my life and right to my heart and right to what I have going on. Um, and then there are others that don't pertain to my life at all, but it's just so good to start my day just kind of praying and that devotional, been so valuable for me, but also just friends, just keeping my connection with my friends. I'm still going for dinner, venting. I have 3 sisters, and I'm very close with my sisters, and so just kind of having that time with them too, and we have a text group. Yeah, and just not, you know, everything's so heavy, but it doesn't have to be all the time, still enjoying, jokes and laughing sometimes and, you know, not losing that part of yourself.
Don't lose yourself. I love that. Well, Carol, thank you for this. Is there a website where someone can learn more about your work or your journey?
Yes, the Cancer Wellness Foundation, it's amazing. We'll be celebrating 30 years next year. We were founded in 1997, but our website is cancerwellnessfoundation.org. We have all kinds of amazing programs, do free cleanings for cancer patients. There's a form they can fill out, a partnership with More Maids, but any kind of needs that someone has, please go to our website and reach out.
That And if you're watching or listening and want more information about Pulse or you want to view more stories like this one, go to alabamapulsemagazine.com. If you have any suggestions or who we should talk to next or any topics, we'd love to hear from you. Leave it in the comments. Thanks so much.